I'm ready. Hello. Hi, everybody. Are
All
you
right.
live?
Yeah, I believe we're live. Welcome to Talking Investing. Welcome to
Is
the
that
last day of the year.
the last day of the year? Unless somebody adds a day. I think we deserve an extra day for this year.
I kind of got an extra day because I thought yesterday was the last day of the year. So
So
this,
you got an extra day?
this was my freebie, although I'm not sure I enjoyed it.
Well, what? Man, you know how I hurt a man. We went to lunch together. I guess that was an insult on me.
No, that part of the day was fantastic. The somewhere between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. was not so great on the chart, though.
You know what, though? Somebody said this to me one time. You want to know what that is?
What is it?
If you didn't have rain, the flowers wouldn't grow.
That's right.
And so, I mean, the theory is if you don't have rain or if you don't have a down day, your portfolio won't grow. How
And
about that logic?
that somebody was, for those of you among us who are old like me, was Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, is that? I didn't know who it was. Was it really?
That they didn't make it up, but they always Shirley always sang a song. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows.
Hi, everyone. That is going to be the $10,000 question. Crypto, I guess it's Jenna. Best stock miners to buy and hold in 2022.
That is going to be the topic of the day. So we will keep that question in mind. I want to give a few more minutes for some people to get in the room. But
I think most people are depressed right now, and they're not going to join. They'll be like, "Oh, brother, let's just wait until next week."
the last probably 4 hours did depress everybody.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh my goodness, what is going on?" Oh my God, when does the pain end? So, see, tell me what happened today, Tom, in Bitcoin.
So I'm not willing to say
Wow.
Maddox, is that it? I don't know. I can't pronounce these correctly. I'm not willing to say we're going bearish yet. I don't feel that, and so I'll explain myself in this stream. But I don't believe that we're going bearish. I still think we are in a long-term uptrend. This is going to be it's never going to look like it used to look. There's too many new variables, so we'll go through some of those today, but I do believe that we are headed up. The short-term pressure is down, the long-term pressure is up, and that will continue big time, in my opinion.
Humble opinion. Yeah, it's hard on a day like today because, you think that they faked us out again this morning.
Oh, yeah.
You
took several days in a row. Yes, thank you, Michael. Today is the last trading day of the year. Again.
Today
I was
is
just
the last.
in a little bit of a rush, apparently, yesterday. So, although maybe I just didn't want today to happen.
I've always said, I've always said that it's going to test 39, 38. I just, for some reason, have that gut check. Tom's the one that has the fundamentals. I'm the one that just does gut checks.
And it's some days George is right, and
some days you're right.
That's this is the business we have chosen.
Look at that slide. Look at that slide, Tom. Why did it slide like that?
This?
Yeah.
Well,
that hurt.
I really feel very strongly, and so far, so we'll see. I don't like to make a call. It's way too early, but I've been saying 3 or 4 videos in a row, I did not like the fact that we did not test this line right here. We took a dip and we did not go down and do a strong test of this line. We fell several $100s short. And as much as that doesn't seem like a big deal, I think as the pressure was up, I finished my video yesterday saying, you know what? Everybody's waiting for options expiration, and everybody's expecting this thing to go up on Friday. And every time that happens, every time we all have the same expectation, the exact opposite thing happens. So I think we get set up for it. And, you know, a lot of people leveraged themselves long last night and this morning, and the leverage was way up, and that's just always an opportunity for these guys to, you know, even in the short term. But having said that, for the moment, the good news is, I mean, we did a perfect retest. Let me go out a little longer term so you can just see really what this looks like. So this was our 1, 2, 3, 4 different retests. This was our December 20th when I personally called the bottom. So December 20th looked like the bottom. We got all the way up to 52,000 1 week later on December 27th. And here we are right now, just absolutely perfectly retesting this line. So I feel like there was a certain inevitability to this retest. And at the moment, it's holding. But again, like I said, I mean, this is... Let me go to the 1 hour. Are we even... So, you know, this is just our second... So this hour, it went down and hit. That was the 2 o'clock hour. The 3 o'clock hour, it held... And now the 4 o'clock hour, we're up above. But that's very short. I mean, we want to see a 4-hour candle close above this and start to go up from there. And then we can feel comfortable that we hit the line and it held. But it is encouraging. I mean, it really didn't even candle wick below the line. It just hit that line, stopped dead in its tracks, and turned around. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that will be our 5th test on successful, hopefully, our 5th successful test of that line in really not that long. It's only been a week and a half. I mean, this was December 21st. That's 10 days ago. It seems like an eternity the way cryptocurrency works, but, you know.
Yeah, so it is amazing. It kills you.
Oh, because look at the twists and turns. You know, here we were just a few days ago breaking through 52,000, thinking, and I can tell you, I was one of them. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. Let's go. And we went, all right, just directly in the opposite direction.
Opposite.
So this is 4 days. I mean, in 4 days, we did just a bam, boom, right to the line. So, I mean, right off of this line. So this line held, this line failed, and then we went right to this line. So this is it's trading very technically at the moment.
Pardon me. Something smells like it's burning.
Uh-oh. Potential fire at George's house. So I'm encouraged. I mean, holding this line was critical, because my next line below that, if you guys look, zoom out. I got to bring it up so the lines don't merge. This was December 3rd. This was the flash crash. So you can see this space is empty. So there is no support here at all. If this last line of support doesn't hold, this is our next line.
What is it, 43?
We got 42,418, so I would call it 42,500. I like to round off on these because this is more of an art than a science.
What's the one after that? What's the one after the 42? Whatever.
Down from there, I got to go way down.
2?
Let's take a look.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, let's take a look. Let me go to the daily. So if you guys could do us a favor, as long as you're in here, if you don't mind, if you could smash the like button on this video. A lot of you probably know I was sick for a few weeks, and they really took us out of the algorithm. So anytime you guys hit the like button, I don't mean to sound like I'm begging, but I'm just letting you guys, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you're comfortable, hit the like button and leave us a message, a comment on anything you want. Obviously right now we're in chat, so
What are we going to tell them about the challenge?
Today.
We are? Oh, okay.
Whoa.
What?
That's
I think I am burning the pizza.
Oh, I went on the monthly. That's why.
I think I am burning the pizza. Uh-oh.
You're burning the pizza?
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks, Peters.
I mean, there's nothing good coming after this line. I think we could probably say somewhere around 40. I think that would be the next thing. It would be crucial to hold 40,000. I hate to even say this because it's the whammy, but I really don't believe we're going down and testing these things. But I've been surprised many times in the last 4 months, so I'm not ruling it out.
Thanks, Michael.
It does seem like this. I mean, you guys can see we're a month into trading in a pretty tight range since that flash crash.
And what is it?
I mean, this was, well, this says December 4th, but this was the end of the flash crash. So, you know, we've been between 52,000.
The Golden Cross?
And 45,700.
The Death Claw?
Not the Death Cross, no. So, you know, that's a tight range. 46 to 52 is $6,000. So it doesn't feel like a tight range, though, when you run from 52 down to 46 in 4 days. It feels like a avalanche. So I can get rid of this box right here, but basically I was showing, like, there's no line in here at all. We have not touched. This is like the neutral zone. So if we cross into it, that's why I'm concerned. If we cross into it, there's just no support until this flash crash number here. Let me get rid of that. It's a distraction. I'm just going to try and take a minute and catch up on the...
Yeah, I want to hear that too about your views on CleanSpark.
Okay, well, great. Because I want to talk about it. $9.52. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
What, CleanSpark?
Yes.
What do you mean?
$9.52. I never, ever thought I would see the day. And all I can tell everybody is until something happens, and I know, you know, there's a lot of little stories going around about, you know, these guys sold some shares and this or that, but that's not news and that's not long-term stuff. The company hasn't done anything differently. Now, I think they have a big announcement coming up over the next couple of weeks. So, you know, in the short term, they had a bunch of machines that they were looking to install to fairly dramatically increase their hash rate. So if they announce that and that is on time, that's going to be a monster catalyst. But even if they miss their time frame by a little bit, so if it's 3.5 weeks from now instead of a week and a half from now, that does not change the story of what's happening at CleanSpark. So for a day trader, it does. But for those of us buying and holding or even swing trading, everything under this line right here, this line was at $10.85. This support goes back to August, and more importantly, this was our September 29th low, and that was the end of that September nightmare that I'm sure you guys all remember. So that Bitcoin got down near 40,000 on that day. Well, we're nowhere near that. You know, we just had a wicked 3-day crash down to 46,000. So we're still 5,000 above where we were on that day. And there's 2 or 3 Bitcoin miners that have broken this line of support. Most of them have hit right back down to this September 29th line, bounced off of it, and they're hanging out there. CleanSpark, in one day, and everybody, I watched this day closely right from the get-go. So I will tell you guys, This thing was down 10% on extremely low volume. Ultimately, once it got down 10%, I think a lot of sell orders triggered, and the volume got up to a little bit more than the daily average volume. But that 10% came on almost no trading at all. So I don't know what that was about. And now we're even lower than that. So there's been no news. There's been no real unusual trading volume. They're just giving shares of CleanSpark away. In my opinion, this is not financial advice. So I've been loading up the truck. I bought a bunch more today. I can't, every day this thing's under $10, I'm probably going to buy some, because it's just unthinkable for this to be under $10. Michael V, you're right. I think a lot of this, and today was the last day for people selling for tax purposes. And I will tell you, I did an analysis of all the miners. The two miners by far that had the most losses in them were CleanSpark and Riot, because CleanSpark was trading in the 40s at the beginning of the year when they really hadn't even gotten their Bitcoin mining operation up and running. I think they had mined about 40 Bitcoin in total as a company when they were trading at $42. So pretty much every day for the rest of the year, no matter when you bought, as of today, you have a nice loss on CleanSpark. So I think that one did get hit extra hard in tax loss harvesting. And I don't really think there's a second reason. I know of no other reason that would be down. I did not hear that, JJT, but you know what? At this point, they've made it clear they're all in on the Bitcoin. And I know that actually frustrates a lot of the people that have owned CleanSpark for a year or two, because, that was the technology, the microgrid stuff that they were behind. And I like that technology as well. I don't know if they're going to spin it off. If they do, then I expect the Bitcoin mining side to start trading at a much, much higher multiple. That'd be fine with me. Matthew, Happy New Year. Thanks. I like Hive. I bought some options on Hive today. So I guess I guess it looks like it ended up right at zero on the end, at the end of the day. So it was unchanged. But I like what Hive is doing. Operationally, they're killing it. And $2.64. Again, that number is low. It's not like CleanSpark at $9.52. That's the most oversold thing, in my opinion, on the board by a mile. But I believe that the vast majority of these from here to here, I believe are oversold. It's just at what varying level are they oversold? And to me, CleanSpark is by far the most.
Riot 22, that's crazy though. I mean, come on.
Jeff saying the microside will absolutely be sold off in Q1. So, Jeff, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I actually feel okay with that. I know a lot of, there may be some of those original stockholders that bail because that's the technology they loved.
Who's this? Explain.
What?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're still talking about CleanSpark. So they have two sides to their business.
Okay.
The microgrid energy side of their business, that was their core business. So if you guys kind of read the story on Microsoft, they bought a very small Bitcoin mining company back last December, and they bought that to use it as a proof of concept that their microgrid energy efficiency stuff would save a lot of money. And they quickly realized, wait a second, we're making a lot more money on this Bitcoin than we are on the microgrid. So at some point, pretty early in this year, the third quarter earnings call, which was just a few weeks ago, is the first time they really came out and admitted we are now a Bitcoin mining company. Jeff, I don't know. Mergers and acquisitions in the mining space, I'm not sure. A lot of these are winners on their own, and Are they going to gobble up some of the smaller or much smaller? I don't see mergers of any of the big miners. And when I would define that by anybody who's doing an exahash or more right now, I don't see why they would have any reason to merge with anybody, because they're going to this is the closest thing to minting money that there's ever been.
It's interesting that you say that. There is one. And I don't want to say it, because then when it happens, people are going to think I know when I don't know.
What, a merger and acquisition?
Yes, there is one that makes sense.
I mean, there's a couple that I suspect could go. There's 3 or 4 that are available to maybe merge with somebody, and it could make some sense. But they're going to get paid. I would hold their stock, because they're going to get paid a massive premium. You know, for instance, if somebody were to buy DigiHost or DMG, those are going to get bought at 2 or 3x what they are right now, because there is no reason on earth for them to sell anything less than 2x. Even that, to me, would be giving it away. So they're still worthy investments.
And one of the things that happened this year, and people don't really, they realize it now, is that the reason why these companies merged was so they could flush a lot of money out. Look at what they did. They were able to flush a lot of debt and a lot of money.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm answering Jeff. He's saying with CleanSpark, he was hoping the mining side would be a use case for the technology, and that was absolutely their intention. There's no doubt about it. And I actually do think it was a successful use case, and they've had several successful use cases. So I don't think that technology is bad technology. I think, at some point they'll go on, or they'll sell it and somebody else will go on to make the best of that. But it's hard to compete with the margins in this Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, if you're management and you're saying they grew their sales by 500% year over year, it's hard to argue with that. And there's no way they were doing that on the microgrid side.
DMG say they get offers all the time.
Oh, I believe it. And there's no reason for them to take them. They're not in a position where they need to sell.
Well,
Mayo Man. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You do it.
I'm responding to Mayo Man. I'm in 100% agreement. I will say that earnings call was awful.
Horrid.
I don't know what they were doing. It's like they didn't even want to have the earnings call. They rushed themselves out of there. That was not. I don't know if it was a bad day or what, but yeah, that was not very inspiring at all.
And here's the thing. This is crazy to say this, and you got to realize these guys, most companies want their stock price to take off because they make a lot of money. But these guys know how much money they're going to make already. Like CleanSpark knows without a question of a doubt what's coming in the next quarter or two. And right now, what you're seeing is you're seeing big money not want Bitcoin mining companies to take off. And I think that's why you're seeing it shorted and you're seeing some surprise things happen so that the price stays down. Because let's be honest, what is there for next year, 2022? I don't think there's going to be a massive crash, personally. This is not financial advice. But you know what? They just cannot. They have nothing. What else do we have in America right now where it's going to be, astronomical growth for next year? The EV sector? They're not even going to make a penny. You know what I mean?
I got a few spots that I think are going to have a good year, but nothing like the Bitcoin miners will still be my number one ranked sector for 2022. But I do have some other stuff that I think is going to do okay, and I don't think it's going to be the big stuff. I think there's going to be some big rotation in 2022. And you're right, Mayo Man. The very next day, they put a new CFO in place, something you think they could have at least mentioned in their conference call.
Yeah, somebody got hoodwinked there. But short-term pressure is saying $7 on CleanSpark. A few companies have come out and recast their forecast. And also, I think the biggest problem was when that big company, who was that, Tom, that pulled out in CleanSpark? Do you remember
There was and I did not verify this myself, but I've been told this 40 different times. I think it was Block pulled out 700,000 shares. But honestly, if you do the math, that doesn't seem to be what caused that 10% down day, because there weren't even 700,000 shares sold, not even close when they were. Those guys were down 10% on that day by 10 o'clock in the morning or earlier. So I don't know. I don't know if that played a part in keeping it down. Maybe it would have rebounded and it stayed down because of that. But again, those are all super, somebody selling a block on any given day. That's not a part of a long-term thesis on whether you should hold a stock. So I am totally not worried. And I searched long and hard for anything relevant. There was no SEC filings. There was no press releases. Those are the two places that I go to. If all else fails, I go to the SEC website, because these guys aren't allowed to do most things without informing the SEC. So that's the first place I check. And typically that information they give is basically just a copy of a press release that they've released. So I'm looking at who has the strongest, most mature management. That's a tough one. A lot of these companies are brand new. So, not that they're not strong management, but they haven't gone through a lot of the learning curve yet. Hive has some very experienced management. Hut has some new people in there, so I love their management, but I won't say they've been in the business for a long time. Marathon, obviously, they're fairly new. That's a tough one. Probably Hive. And I like what Hive is doing, and they're taking some risks and doing some things a little bit differently than other people. Most specifically, they bought 10,000 machines to mine Ethereum. And that was very different than what everybody else is doing. But it seems to be working out for them, because they're making a lot more money per machine right now. Now, at some point, those you may not be able to mine Ethereum anymore, is what everybody believes is going to happen sooner or later. But who knows when that date is? And those machines have probably already paid for themselves. CryptoJana, Bitfarms is my biggest position. I also did buy some. I bought two things today: Cleanspark and Bitfarms. So anytime Bitfarms is at or near $5, I'm adding to a position that's really already completely filled out. But at $5, I'm buying Bitfarm. Under $10, I'm buying Cleanspark. And yeah, those are two positions that I do not plan on selling for a long, long time. I will tell everybody, as I've said many times, I do buy and sell options on these as well. So, that's a way to make some income. It's also a way on an up day to take some profits. I don't like to sell my stock. So I try to hold my stock. But, through some options, I do some swing trades. I don't day trade ever on anything, but I will do some swing trades through options. And the miners are the perfect space to do that in, because they're so volatile. And really, that's all. As a swing trader, you're just looking for volatility.
Did you answer who is the most mature management in your opinion?
I guess I would say Hive.
I actually think they're all a bunch of buffoons. I'm going to be honest with you.
You think so?
Yeah, all the Bitcoin miners, you know why. Because there's just so much profit. There's just so much money that they don't have to really run it like a normal business.
Yeah, but yes, but that's not their fault. And, the other thing is, even though their gross profit margins are astronomical, these guys have to be a solid management. And, they've got to do it's not easy to raise $500 million.
No, it's not.
And a lot of these companies have, had to, Marathon just spent almost $900 million. And Michael V mentioned, they're planning on 23 exahash by the end of 2022. That is, I will agree, bold is the right word, and they have never been shy. That is a very bold management team. I don't think they've bitten off more than they can chew, but I think it's taking them a little longer to digest what they're doing. They are doing an awful lot. They are, their plans are to be the number one exahash, and I think they are leading, and all these gigantic numbers right now, to put it in perspective, at the end of November, I believe Marathon was at 3.2 exahash and Riot was at 3.0, and they were the two leaders. So, these guys are all going to be many multiples bigger a year from now than they are today. To go from 3 to 23 is a monstrous undertaking. In addition to that, they have their own pool. But that pool is going to be helped greatly. When they get to 10, 12, 15 exahash and then eventually 23, their pool is going to be a lot more successful, in my opinion. It takes a lot of the luck out of the equation once you have enough computing power in your mining pool.
Okay, you ready for my answer?
Yes.
Why did they screw us on November? Why did they just destroy us? And you watch the stock go up. I mean, it's a day-to-day activity, Monday through Friday. And they knew they had a terrible November. They knew it. And they did not let anybody know. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. And they're shell out a few million for that. And I'm sorry. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth. I mean, when you personally have lost a lot of money, it's hard to say they have a good management. And that could have been avoided, too.
I know.
They could have. And here's even worse. They went and raised the $500 million, and then they released the article like 3 days later. So you can say that they misled everybody into believing that they were in a much better position than they were. And you know what I mean? And that's the reason why they're going to have to settle on all those lawsuits.
They had I don't know that they broke any of their fiduciary responsibilities. They obviously, as an investor that has money in there and lost money, you don't feel good about what happened in November. There's just no way around that.
No.
So, yeah, I agree with that. There's probably an awful lot of people that are mad at Marathon right now. But looking past that from a long-term standpoint, if they execute, I mean, their numbers are going to be staggering. Here's what I will say. What I don't understand, see this gap right here, and then this? Like, what was this? No other miner did anything that even slightly resembled that. Most of the other miners didn't even get back to their 52-week high. Marathon absolutely destroyed their 52-week high. This thing went ballistic. I mean, this little run right here, even from right here, after a huge run, this thing was a 44% run up over this number here was just about their all-time high. So they didn't just, beat their all-time high. They buried it. Only a week later to go below it, retest and fail, and then go down in a straight line. So something wacky was going on here, and I know George, that's one of the things George I know does not like. Why, if the stock was here and all that bad news happened and it crashed, that'd be one thing. But it went from here to here, and I don't see, there was no
news, no nothing.
There was nothing that warranted that run up so much further. Just to put it in perspective, if we go back, and those of you that know the channel know I always go back to September 29th, these guys ran up way more than any of the other miners.
Oh, yeah, they went.
That's 175% increase in the price of their stock in a month and a half. Most of the other miners were somewhere between 100% and at the very most 120%. These guys were at 175%. So we'll never know. And, the retail, we're always the ones who are out of the loop and left out. But we just have to do the best that we can do. But this was funny business, in my opinion.
Why are you making me feel bad?
What?
I'm nobody.
What?
I'm nobody.
No, we're just the last ones to get info. That's all.
I know.
That doesn't mean we can't win. We just have to understand that as a part of how we invest. That.
Dude, should we wait until we get to 50 to tell everybody what we plan on doing for next year? Let's see if we can get there. And if we don't, we won't do it.
We'll give it 5 minutes and then we'll go through everything.
Okay. It's kind of cool. I think it's neat. So I found out what was burning in my house, by the way. My wife has one of those heat mats, like, you know, you sit on when it's cold out. She left the damn thing on, and it melted. So now the house smells like... I'm glad I caught it, because it would have freaking burnt down the house. Oh, wait a second. That's not a bad idea.
Crypto Jana, I'll tell you, I think we're already in a uranium bull run. I was looking at the... What is it? UUUU? And I passed on it because it had run up a little, and since then it's gone like through the roof. So I'm kicking myself on that one.
What about Peloton?
I will
think
tell
it'll
you,
drop Monday?
I'm going to pull up the chart, but I have not studied that closely. So
I don't think, just because of who endorsed it recently, it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Who was that?
Somebody famous.
Thank you.
I don't know who it was.
You don't know who it was. They were famous, but you think that it's bad.
I want to say it was Tom Brady.
Oh, that could be.
I think it was Tom Brady, and I don't think. And you know, he probably didn't. He probably got stock or some type of something. But isn't it late? We can still make money.
Wow. Ouch.
What are you ouching? That bad?
Peloton. That is nasty. Just to get back to where it was, well, almost 2 months ago. You know, that's almost 150%. That's almost 400%. So this thing, you know, had the run up of all time. So I'm curious to see if this, January. So January and February of 2021, we got set up. Retail traders got set up, and they stole everybody's money for the rest of the year. So that's what happened in 2021. 2021 was one of the toughest trading years in many years, especially since we rolled out of 2020, where you could just throw darts at a board and you were going to make money.
And they said that less than 50% of people made money in 2021. Traders.
Oh, I believe it. I bet you it's way less than that.
But if you made money...
Of retail traders.
Yeah.
You know, I think probably a lot of us in the Bitcoin sector made money, even though I'm down way off of my highs. You know, the Bitcoin miners had a really good year. So, but depending on when you bought, you might be behind there as well. Probably just as many people are underwater as above water. So,
it's Ryan Reynolds. He's the one behind Peloton now.
Everybody likes Ryan Reynolds.
I love Ryan.
Who doesn't like Ryan Reynolds? You can leave a chat and tell us if you don't like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to stay at home anyways. Still crazy. Everything has a crazy high valuation. That's just the way it is now.
Yeah, the valuations... Well, everything large cap has a valuation that will blow your mind. A lot of small caps, they're basically giving away for free. So I'll tell you, I did a video right before Christmas kind of talking about what we're going to do on the channel in 2022. And obviously, I'm still going to stick with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. That's the backbone of what we do. But we're going to jump into a bunch of other stocks. Because I trade a bunch of other stuff that there's some real incredible value out there. So we're going to spread into the EV sector, mostly the small cap EVs. We'll look at the big cap EVs. And again, if you guys could do me a favor right now in the chat, just let me know. Are you guys interested in the EV sector? Has anybody, the large caps, the small caps, is anybody monitoring that sector? Does anybody trade in that sector? Does anybody care? There are some steals to be had in there. So just as an investor, I'm looking at that with some big wins, and I will be doing videos on that quite a bit.
How distant is... Doesn't Ryan own like Mint Mobile or something like that?
I don't know.
I think he owns some mobile company. Pretty sure. Okay, you ready to tell?
Yeah, let me just answer.
I'm excited.
Let me just answer Mayo Man.
Okay.
He said, when did you guys first get interested into the Bitcoin miners? So I'll tell you, I still consider myself fairly new. It was somewhere around last September I started really digging into these. And at that time, the only thing to look at, or the only thing that I was looking at, was Riot and Marathon. And I was tracking Riot and Marathon and then Riot, which was the one I really wanted to buy, kind of ran up. And when I say ran up, it ran up to like $3, which at the time seemed like, wow, that's how crazy it is. To me at that time, and that was probably November by then, that seemed like, oh, that's the all-time high. This thing's done. I missed it. And so what I did was buy Marathon at that time, and I held that. So I did really well on Marathon, although later, obviously, that one tanked as well.
Yeah, we tried to buy miners for what? 3-4 months? Right in the beginning, right after Thanksgiving of last year.
Weston, I appreciate that feedback. I am going to try to bring to you the EV companies that nobody's talking about. I'm not going to be doing Tesla videos. I'm not going to be doing NIO videos. I'm not going to be doing Lucid Motor videos. You're right. Everybody's got that covered times 1,000. So I have some much, much smaller ones, and some of them aren't even direct. They're just in the EV ecosystem that are just so undervalued. I just feel like they're good investments, and I don't like to pass up on a good investment. So I will try my best to stay away from all the usual suspects because YouTube's got that covered. You're right, times 100. So Silas says he sold his Tesla to buy more shares of CleanSpark. I support that. Oh, thanks, Weston. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just as sick of Tesla and NIO, and if I see one more NIO to 300 thumbnail, it's first it was NIO to 100, then it was NIO to 200, then it was NIO to 300. Well, then it was NIO to 28 2 days ago. So Martin, Romeo is one of my top plays. It's my largest non-Bitcoin miner holding. So I have done a few videos on that if you want to go back and check them out. It's actually the last video I did before I got sick, and I will definitely be doing more. That thing is so undervalued, it's insane.
What's undervalued?
Romeo, stock ticker RMO.
In my opinion.
yeah.
Not
Weston,
financial advice.
I agree. It's almost like there's as many or more NIO videos as there are Tesla videos. But between the two of them, and Lucid Motors for that matter, it's like it's relentless, and it's a lot of the big YouTubers as well. And I just look at them going like, we're tuning in for another Tesla video. Come on.
I can just tell you, this would be in the overall stock market. The thing I would say about any company that has anything to do with China, I don't believe you can trust their numbers. I'm telling you right now, you pick out who that company is, but any of them, I don't trust any of their numbers. There's just no way to verify it.
Logan, I did a video. He mentioned Electromagnetica, which is stock ticker Solo, S-O-L-O. I did a video on them probably 6 months ago. I was way early. The stock has gotten crushed since then, but I do still like the company. I thought it was good at that price, so I think their story hasn't changed. They did have to... I won't say that. Their story has changed a little bit. They've moved their manufacturing over to the United States, or they're in the process of doing so, and that held them up for a while. But that's going to be one of the ones I'll be talking about as well.
Don't forget skills.
Skills, that is not in the EV sector, but that's one.
But still, it's going to make money.
I find skills fascinating. So
it makes more money than, well, yeah, I would. Does it make more money than the Bitcoin miners?
What, skills? They don't make any money yet.
But you know what I mean. In theory, they're supposed to make a 90% profit margin.
Their profit margin is mind-boggling. The question is, are they going to get control of their marketing expense? So, which I believe the answer is yes. Everybody's saying, let's get to the challenge. So, let's not leave people hanging.
What's the challenge, Tom? You want to tell them?
Sure. So, I mean, we're going to do a pretty standard issue. And you guys have seen a lot of these challenges. In 2021, it seems like everybody did a challenge. But I really feel like they all made a lot of mistakes. Everybody in 2021 did a stock challenge, but they were trading stocks like it was 2020. And so most of the people who had a challenge got pretty beat up. I don't know anybody that actually ended up money. You know, and I'm not picking on anybody in specific, but Stockmo's main video challenge, the last time I saw, which was with just a few days left in the year, he was still trying to get back to zero. And that doesn't mean he did a bad job. His was actually one of the best ones out there. So, you know, you guys know who the YouTubers are. So I'm going to use a totally different basket of stocks.
Did you see me raise my hand? I don't know who made my hand. I raised my hand. Sorry.
You know who or you?
No, us, me.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't. But we didn't have a challenge.
Yeah.
So we don't count.
Right, I got you.
So
we're.
Yeah, George in the chat is saying, Chris Sane, you know, I don't want to call him out. Here's the credit I'll give Chris Sane. He shows his portfolio every day, and he got beat up badly this year. So, you know, at least he didn't run and hide from it. So I'll give him that credit. But yeah, he had a tough, like almost everybody, he had a very tough year. My channel obviously is I guess I would say my channel is the exact opposite of Chris Sane's channel. I'm trying to pick value stocks and do a little bit of a deep dive and explain why I'm buying these stocks versus just kind of.
We're trying, and I think also you're trying to remove as much risk as you possibly can. I would say that's probably
agreed. George will tell you I'm conservative, but I think I feel like I found the right balance on risk reward. The stock trading is all about risk reward. If your risk reward is out of balance, over time you're going to lose money. You might get lucky in the first month or two, you kill it, but then
even a whole year, Tom.
Right, that's right. Well, 2020, you didn't even have to get lucky. From the bottom that we hit in March of 2020, you could not lose in 2020. There was no stock that you could pick that didn't win. So, you know.
So here, I'm going to tell the challenge, okay?
Go ahead.
Here's what we're doing. And we're not going to limit it to 1 year. It might take 2 or even 3 years. But we're going to try to be very conservative. And we're going from $10,000 to $100,000. And we're going to be very conservative in that as we do it. So that's our challenge. We're just going to, because we figured, you know, $10,000 is a lot of money, but $100,000 would be a lot better to have. So we're being very conservative in what we're going to do, and we're just going to it's not a get rich quick scheme.
That's right.
And so we're making like an investment group.
That's right. We're looking to take $10,000 to $100,000, and we're not guaranteeing that we're going to do it in a year, because you know what? That's when you take big risks and you turn $10,000 into $4,000. So what we want to mainly do is make sure our biggest goal is we'd like to get from $10,000 to $100,000 But over the course of time, we want to be trending in the right direction the entire time. So that's our goal. We want it to be. Go ahead, George.
I'm sorry. Everybody thinks that next year is going to be Armageddon in the stock market. And I mean, look at none of the stocks. I don't know if you guys really know what fundamentals are in stocks. I didn't until Tom told me. And, none of these stocks make any sense. So it doesn't make sense that you would take and have the valuation of, let's just talk about one company, and we'll talk about Apple. Apple does not make any sense to us. It just, yeah, they make a great phone. Yeah, I have their phone. Yes, they make great products. But
they make a lot of money and all that
stuff.
Yeah,
and they have a ton of money sitting in the sidelines. I mean, a ton of money.
Their market cap is just under $3 billion. I'm sorry, $3 trillion.
Yeah, $3 trillion.
I mean, for those of you who have been in the market for a while, I never would have believed that a company would get to a $3 trillion market cap, even by the year 2050. This thing has gone up so fast, so hard. The market caps, the biggest market cap in the stock market, was fluctuating around 400 billion for years and years. This is 8 times that, and it's just a few years later. We're going to, JJT, yes, we're going to do 10,000 up front. We are not going to add money over the course of time. Our goal is to take that 10,000 and turn it into 100,000.
Somebody said, I live in Denmark. I can't access all kinds of stuff. Wonder why? Why is that?
Well, every different exchange has different access.
It'd be the country.
Right. Like, we're in the United States. So when we buy, like, a great example is a lot of these miners, until they all just moved over to the NASDAQ, they were traded in Canada. And we had to buy them over the counter. So
you can still buy OTCs from Denmark?
I don't know if they have access to OTCs.
How diversified is it going to be?
It will be diversified. I mean, you're going to see Bitcoin miners in there, but I personally, my portfolio and my watch list is extremely diversified, and I am seeing things. I'll tell you, the sectors I'm looking at, we talked about the EV, but there's the small cap, high growth stocks all peaked in January, February, March, and I've found probably over 100 stocks that are down between 70 to 90%. Now, a lot of those stocks are down for a reason. Their company is going to fail. But there are several stocks in that pile that are absolute gems, in my opinion, that have just been, everything got taken out, the good with the bad, and there's some stocks sitting there at numbers. I've got 3 stocks that have a market cap of less than their net cash, which would be their cash minus all of their debt, short-term and long-term. So, when you start to look at a company like that, as long as they have a viable product and a business plan, when your market cap's less than your net cash, that's a buy.
Yeah. I love reading these comments, guys. It's killing me, by the way. We can get some Ukraine stock too.
Here's the problem. And I'll show you what happened to me. I blew it.
Uh-oh. It's getting real. Should we turn the lights down?
So, Energy Fuels, together with its subsidiaries, engages in the extraction, recovery, exploration, and sale of conventional uranium. So, this was my uranium play. And I was looking at it. It was way before this. It was, somewhere. No, it was way before that. It was wow, this was longer ago than I thought. It might have been over a year ago. Yeah, it was somewhere down here. It was at like $1.50. And so that was actually almost a year and a half ago. I can't believe it. And I got myself all revved up. And it must have been right here because then it ran up like this. And, you know, by the time it got to $2, I was like, I did the same thing. I missed it again. So I abandoned ship. But, you know, it's at $7 and people think it's going higher. I feel like this is, you know, this is a really high number that it's at right now. So I don't know. I would feel it's hard for me to buy this stock for $7.60 when I know I passed on it at $1.50. Even if that's irrational, it's just hard to do. But there are other uranium stocks. So I'm just going to go through what we're doing with the Discord as well, because we're trying to update and improve the Discord, and we will continue. You know, this is a I don't want to say a moving target. Hopefully this is an evolution that continues to improve over the course of time. So we're offering.
Are we going to start? When are we going to start? I'm sorry.
Well, sometime in the first week of January. I don't know that it will be Monday. It may take till the middle of the week before we're ready, and we may not invest all 10,000 of that on day one. I don't want to just plop money in until the stocks that we want are at the price point. But we'll put the 10,000 in. It'll be in there on January 1st. So technically, it'll start on January 1st. But when we start buying the stocks, might be a few days later. NNDM is one of my examples where that is. So who is that? Ali. Yes, they are trading for less than their cash. I mean, that's on my list. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, Tom.
It's on my, and it's a company that I've been watching for a long time. They were overvalued. And now, you know, like I said, everything got taken out. So they went from overvalued where I didn't want to invest into them to where I think they're a steal right now.
I think what we'd probably do, Tom, if we change and buy different things, let's pick a certain time in the week that we can release the video for whatever we buy. It's all going to be at the same time. We're not going to do it.
And we've got, can you go back to that page we were just on? We've got 3 different levels in the Discord. So depending on what level you're in, you're going to get a different access. So the challenge will be free and available to everybody because like George said, once a week we'll do a video and update on, what has happened and where the portfolio sits and how we're doing. But for the Platinum members, on a weekly basis, we're going to give them every single transaction that we did for the week. And then for the Diamond members...
Go ahead. But the Diamond, it's going to be live. Whatever we do will be live with the challenge. If the challenge, we can give it to everybody, but it's not going to be live. It will be recorded and given.
On the Diamond level, people are going to be getting stuff essentially in real time as we make trades. But we will share with everybody. So, if you want deeper access to see what we're really doing, you can make that choice. That's obviously, you guys all have to decide for yourself what makes sense for you.
And here's the other thing too. If you guys run across something that you want Tom to look into, the reason why success happens, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the reason why you're successful in life is you surround yourself with like-minded people. And, let's say somebody says, oh my goodness, I got to do this because we're going to all make money together. We're not trying to, we're too small to close, to be like, oh, if I make the money, I'll be taking it from them. We're way too small for that. So everybody can prosper in this together.
So George is asking, are you going to tell us when you're buying? So depending on what level you'll know is how close you'll know in real time to what we're doing. But we will update on a weekly basis. We'll update everybody for exactly what we've done. Yeah, in the Platinum level on a weekly update, you're literally going to get every transaction. In our regular videos on a weekly update, we'll update where the portfolio is at and what any new positions we entered. And probably in my videos as I introduce stocks, I will let people know, this is going to be one for the challenge. So Logan's talking about the metaverse, and I will tell you I remain a bit skeptical from a stock trader perspective. So, that's something that's coming. I have not yet found stocks that I believe are going to blow up in 2022 because of the metaverse. Now, I may find that some of these run up to unreasonable values just because they're metaverse adjacent. So if you guys have picks, you can always let us know. And that's what this Discord is about. And that's why we have a free section, which is the general section. We want conversation. So, please. And a lot of you have been excellent about sharing your thoughts and making recommendations. So appreciate that for everybody who's been doing that. JJT
Logan,
Peters is saying, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Logan, I was going to answer you. I actually know a lot about cannabis. I almost got approved for the license in the state of Georgia until you found out that you had to pay people off and you couldn't get the license. But I totally agree. There's some unbelievable companies with the medical stuff and the cannabis and what's the other T? What is it? Back the non-lethal stuff of marijuana?
Well, none of it's
CBD.
lethal.
Whatever, I don't know. Lethal, potent, make you stone.
So to answer JJT Peters, there will be no large cap stocks. That doesn't mean I won't do videos on some large cap stocks if I see an opportunity, but it is and Alibaba is a bit of an exception. Alibaba has its own very complicated story. But most of the large cap stocks, in my opinion, are not going to have a great 2022. The blue chip stocks with good dividends, they'll do their thing. But I'm not expecting. The big five used to be the FANG stocks. Now they all want to change their name for some reason, so they got to come up with a new, the Meta and the Alphabet. And they may do okay, but I don't think that's the place where people are going to make money in 2022. So this challenge in specific is a small cap high growth challenge. That's where we're going to be. And obviously the miners all fit into that as well. And I'm not being strictly technical because I believe the technical definition for small cap is 2 billion or less. So we may have some 3, 4, 5 billion dollar stocks in there, but those, compared to what has now become the large cap stocks, $5 billion is a very small stock.
Oh, and I'll let everybody know I'm a big XRP guy. I hold a pretty decent sized portion in it, but I'm a big XRP guy. Long term, I'm not a big Bitcoin guy. Long term, but that means like over 10 years, I think Bitcoin will change. Personally. But I think that we're still in the beginning. I think next year for crypto market overall in 2022, I think it's going to double from where it is today. Where are we right now? Let's see.
XRP?
No. Crypto. What is the total?
The whole crypto universe.
Yeah, we're at 2.2. So I conservatively see a 4. I would say, wouldn't you say, Tom, or no?
Oh, yeah. And 2.2 is a little bit low because we were much higher than that.
We're at 3. Yeah,
that's going to be an easy double.
Yeah, easily double. There's only one thing. Not financial advice, but there's only one. There's one little ticking time bomb in the crypto market.
Now, don't spook everybody.
And I'm telling you, there is a ticking time bomb, and it's just a matter of time when it comes. And I don't know when it's going to come, but there is a ticking time bomb.
I'll tell you this: it's not Bitcoin.
Not Bitcoin, no.
And it's not Ethereum.
But I can always tell you, it is. I always say, be careful of anything from China.
Well, and that's part of Alibaba's problem and a part of Neo's problem. A lot of these, and fair or unfair, it's just how world politics work, unfortunately. Those stocks are beaten down in large part because, the China risk has gotten much bigger. For several different reasons, a lot of which are political and a lot of which are just actually actions China has taken. Look what China did to Bitcoin. So, they shut down half the world's hash rate.
I think I think he would fall right in line with what I'm saying over the period of time that I'm talking. I think he knows.
Wow.
I think he knows that over a period of time. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or anything, but I think like anything, here's a great example. Look at who remembers MySpace? Hopefully I'm dating myself, but there was a Facebook out there already, and that was MySpace, and then MySpace was overran by Facebook. I mean, that's the best example. And before that, there was an AOL.
Right.
And so I mean, there's other players that come into that do better than the one before. The gas fees. I mean, I don't know, but anytime I trade Bitcoin, I'm in shock how much it costs me. I feel like I got robbed. And that's not the word I want to use, and these things are just way, way too expensive to work in the way they're supposed to. They talk about the transaction fees of Visa and MasterCard. I was listening to somebody talk about that, and they're comparable to those. That's why it doesn't make any sense why, Visa and MasterCard are going to get hammered this coming year, but they are going to get hammered because they're going to come up with a better way to transfer money.
JJT, I'm a big proponent of, I've traded and had my eye on 3 or 4 of the hydrogen fuel cell companies, so I'll definitely be doing videos on some of those.
She still uses it. Oh, and thanks, JJT Peters, for giving us the love that you love to hear everything about the challenge. I mean, we're trying to, the whole reason it's Tom's channel, but we work together. And the whole premise behind KUDAB is, can you do any better? And my theory right now in life and next year is going to be a hard year for everybody, just overall in general. Maybe not the people I know or the people in this channel, but overall I think it's going to be a very challenging year for a lot of people. And I wanted to do something that I felt that we could give back. And we're not trying to, I mean, if you have a hardship plan and you want to tell me about it, we'd be more than happy to throw you on the program for free. I don't have any problem doing that. Do you, Tom? I mean,
no, yeah,
no. I mean, obviously, yeah, but obviously we're all, that's my theory. We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
Tether could maybe be a ticking time bomb. I don't know if it is. I'm not going to be specific because I don't have any concrete information about anything, but I can just say that there's a ticking time bomb out there for cryptocurrency, and it just matters of when it goes off. Do you disagree with that statement, Tom?
I will tell you, you know more about that than I do.
Okay.
So,
well,
my hope is that whatever it is, it's not big enough to send shockwaves through the crypto
No, I bet
world.
I think you could see a 20%, maybe even a 30% hit in the overall Bitcoin and Ethereum and yeah. and I think that unfortunately legislation is good in some aspects of cryptocurrency because I mean you can go and have, I mean, I'm in the process of making a cryptocurrency. I've already made one and I'm in the process of making another cryptocurrency. And the next cryptocurrency I do, it's real easy to do and you don't have to disclose anything and there's really you don't need to be backed by anybody. And that's why you have all these crazy little, Doge and Shiba and, Pancake and all these different things, that are out there. And by the way, I do like NFTs overall. NFTs, people will win the lottery on some of those NFTs. And I think, you hold the right stuff and you make the right investment in NFTs, you're going to make money. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. And, the crypto universe is now vast and most of it is still in the very early stages. So I'll tell you, from my perspective, I'm going to have almost the exact opposite strategy in crypto that I have in the equities. In the equities, I'm looking for small cap, high growth stocks that I think have a lot of potential. In the crypto, there's about 8 or 10 of these I'm comfortable with, and we'll probably stick to those in 2022 anyway. And I may feel differently 6 months from now, but all of these, I mean, you guys have seen them. There's 1,000 videos a day pumping 1,000 different coins I've never heard of. You go in and look at their market caps are tiny and they're ridiculously volatile. And some people are making a lot of money on them, but I think you got to be in on the ground floor. And I don't know enough about that, and I don't have enough time to research everything I'm already researched and become an expert on the smaller secondary, cryptocurrencies. So we'll probably stick to the big ones.
And I'll give you a great example of something that I'm talking about, and it was this Sologenics. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. Sologenics, and a friend of mine told me to get into it, at like 65 cents, and it went up to, $6. I just can't in good conscience do that, because, I mean, come on, guys. We all knew what this was about. This was a pump and dump and the best. So now it's $1.05, and it went up to, let's see, what was the range where it went up to? And there's no metrics behind it. And that's the thing that gets me about crypto, is that this coin, if they burn out half of their coins, it could go to $1. And we all know it's never going to happen. But $6.58. So they were able to scam, that much money off of people in this Sologenics thing. And why do I call it a scam? A scam is something that really, there's no fundamental reason for the coin at all. There's no tangible reason that you should buy it except to have an airdrop.
So Logan's saying, I wish I had more time too. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, what I have tried to do from an investor standpoint is pick the things that I focus on, because there is nobody that can learn the entire stock market. And now you add the entire crypto universe. I mean, there's no 10 people that could do that. So you gotta pick some focus. So I have more time than most people, and I'm fairly obsessed with this stuff. So I probably spend an unreasonable amount of time. But even with that said, I really have to limit myself to the areas that I'm in, and that keeps me more than busy.
Well, we better end it, or I'm gonna get shot.
All right, you got it. We'll wrap it up.
Can I EDM you my Discord and share some knowledge of the future crypto? Yes, please send it to Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, and there is a lot of things about the crypto market that is true, and there is a lot of things that are untrue, and there's a lot of things that are going to change, I believe, next year in crypto. But the bottom line is, there is also a big problem what we're having with the dollar in the United States and in the dollar in Canada, and that is the value of it. It's just not buying what it used to buy just as early as 3 months ago. So people are going to always look for a way to, get the most out of their money. I mean, I know I do. I'm sure you do, Tom.
That's the goal. I mean,
yeah,
that's what
that's
we're
the
here
reason
for.
why. That's the reason why people have gold in their, portfolio.
So I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't smashed the like button, please do us a favor and smash the like button. It's a big help.
Very bullish. I am very bullish too. Thank you guys. It was always a pleasure, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm not talking to anybody until next year.
Everybody have a happy New Year's Eve. Everybody have a happy New Year's. Please be safe. It's people get nuts. It's kind of amateur hour on New Year's Eve sometimes. So be safe and have fun.
All right. See you, everybody. God bless. Take care.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.